and I'm catching up too today and tomorrow. So I'll have something back over to you either tonight or tomorrow that you've been bugging me for a while. Signed documents.
We're on live. I think he got us on live.
No worries. I got you.
I don't see our faces. Kansas City's global community radio station. You're tuned in to Jessica Lynn Speaks Life. I am so excited to be with you again today. I have a phenomenal guest, but before we get into introducing the phenomenal guest, let's share a little bit about what took place yesterday and what's going on in the community. I know that a lot of students are back to school, and we've had a lot of back to school drives, and including period products and backpacks for girls and boys to end period poverty. And as you know, Giving Hope and Help has a free period poverty pantry. You've heard all about food pantries and clothes giveaways, but we have a free period pantry every first Saturday of the month, located at St. Paul AME Zion Church, 4000 South Minnie Street in KCK. To give you a general idea as to where that is near KU Medical Center. So the period pantry is from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. We had it yesterday. We had a period packing party. We packed love bags filled with period products. We also filled purses for women that are homeless. We filled them with 20 or more period products, as well as toiletries and inspirational items went into the purses. We also had COVID testing. I'm so excited to share that we had COVID testing. Many people don't believe in the vaccination, and I know it's a personal choice. However, I haven't heard many people saying, I refuse to get tested. So we had a COVID-19 testing clinic, and we're going to continue to have that next month for October 1st, the first Saturday in October, first Saturday in November, as well as December. We will have free COVID-19 testing, free period pantry where you can come and get period products, underwear, and we also have some other surprise giveaways every month. And you will also be able to, October through December, get vaccinations as well. So we're excited about that. Please let me know your community events and I'll be happy to share. Let's move on with Mr. Claude Harris, my guest of the hour. He is the founder and president, CEO of College Coaching Network. Let me just tell you this. I met Claude. I was thinking earlier, Claude. First of all, hello.
Hey, what's going on with you?
Hello. I met you and I was like, how did I meet Claude? We go way back so far. You know where it was? Young Achievers.
Oh, wow.
My son was in Young Achievers. You spoke about FAFSA, and my daughter was a senior at the time, and you assisted me with her FAFSA application and, getting prepared to go off to school. And I told you about Giving Hope and Help, and you were literally on board that moment.
Wow.
And you were doing wealth management. I can't remember the company, but it was in Lee Summit.
Yep.
And
man.
Yes, you have been supporting our Education is Your Passport scholarship program with since 2015, since our 2015.
That was 2015. Yeah, I'm like, wow, that's back there. Wow.
Yeah, so supporting us with our presentation, digital presentations, as well as giving our scholars awarding our scholars, I should say, because they have earned it, the scholarship app. And so I'm excited to share, what you're doing with College Coaching Network. I know that you're full-time with College Coaching Network now.
Yes, ma'am.
But I said earlier, when I met you, you were working in wealth management. And so I'm going to let you do your own introduction. I want to hear your story. I want others to hear your story. You're sitting at your office at the Hy-Vee Arena, am I correct?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
You're at your office at the Hy-Vee Arena. So we have gone from working for
The
someone
basement.
else
Yeah.
to now basically building your own empire. So I'm just excited. So tell us a little about you, Mr. Harris.
Yeah, definitely. One, I forgot about the Young Achievers because it's crazy because when I first started, I was doing some things before Young Achievers with another organization, and things didn't work out the way I wanted it to. And so I was driving down the street one day and just pure frustration. And God told me to pull over to the YMCA. I just walked in there and I said, hey, I've got a program that I think could be beneficial. Is there anybody that works with youth that I could talk to about this program? They put me on the phone with Garrett Webster. And when I told him just a little bit about the vision of what I was looking to accomplish, he's like, you stay right there. I'm coming down, whatever. So we ended up connecting. And then they did it as a pilot program in 2014. And we won 6 awards through the YMCA. So I can go back, it's fun just kind of going back to the journey of it. But yes, I was in wealth management. My story real quick is in high school, I was pretty nerdy. 3.875 GPA, nerdy looking guy. Now look nerdy even back then, but just had more hair back in the day. But 3.875 GPA, scored only 17 on the ACT test. And so the score was so low on the ACT that I didn't get any scholarships going to college. My mom believed in my dream so much. She wanted me to be the first in the family to graduate from college. So she almost depleted her 401k just to pay for 1 year of my college expenses at Pittsburgh State. And I can't thank her enough because there's a lot of times where parents are like pushing you, but when they got to make a decision between their financial future and giving you an opportunity at your future, that's a difficult choice to make. And so I give my mom the utmost respect because, again, she didn't have to give me an opportunity, but I didn't take that opportunity lightly. So if there's any students out there right now that are listening to this podcast, or if there's a parent and you're like signing these Parent Plus loans, and you're believing in your son and your daughter, like they're worth making that investment. Their babies deserve an opportunity. And my mom gave me one. And so it was my responsibility not to let her down. And so I graduated from Pittsburgh State, got my degree in accounting, and I went on to move into wealth management. So it's funny to see how God will sometimes lead your path in directions that you don't think it will go. And I'm sure you got some questions about kind of how I got to this path. So I'll back off.
Well, you just go right ahead and tell us. So, first of all, I love everything you said about, your mother. She wanted to give you the best. And I want to back up even more to you having a 3.875 and getting a 17 on the ACT. 17 is still a good number. I mean, wow. Because even back then, there wasn't much support.
No.
When I was in high school, there was no support for ACT prep. There was not that I knew of anyway. Right. And I was a scholar. And so I wasn't introduced to anything to help me with the ACT. Basically, I just went in there and took it, and it was a horrible score. And it didn't reflect my GPA, which was a 3.8 or something crazy. But it didn't reflect. And when you say a 3.875 with a 17, I want to say, brother, that was still a good score, especially back then.
Right.
So, basically you're brilliant in my book. So whatever, right?
No, sure.
I mean, if you would have had the support that these young people are getting today, you probably would have got a 30, who knows? But it's a way to take the test. Yeah. And I know that there's some biases around that. And there have been in the past. And so
I'm glad you said that. I want to piggyback real quick on that. So like the problem that I feel like I had, and I'm not knocking my school counselor because they did the best that they could do. But the problem that I noticed when you talk about the biases is when I took my wealth management test, my 7, 66, 63, 65, like I took all those exams and I passed them.
I lost your volume. You're on mute. Somehow you went on mute, Claude. Okay. You're up. Still can't hear you. Welcome to the Life of Zoom, everyone. We're all real life in it here. Thumbs down means I can't hear you. We're all real life in it here, and we are used to, at this point, being in the homes, doing Zoom.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Okay, good. And I'm dialing back in too, so it'll kick back in. So if I get choppy, I apologize. I'm dialing back in. But real quick to throw it back to you, when you were talking about the biases, those tests, you have to really study how to take those tests. And a lot of times from the school counselor perspective, they don't teach us that these tests are a game. And it's not, do you understand the information? It's, do you understand how they're going to ask you the questions? And so if you study those two parameters of it, then you can actually do better. I passed all those exams, the 763, all that, the first time. And there's people that went to Pembroke, Rockhurst, all those different schools, and they didn't pass them the first time when they did it, but understood the importance of how to prepare. And I believe the school counselors are not teaching the students at a higher enough level how that test impacts you financially, where you go to school and then you have a lot of debt because you don't do well on the standardized test. And so I just really wish that people would take the time to understand like what it can cost you by having a low score. Because if I'd have got Jessica a 21 on my ACT, I would have had a full ride academically and athletically, right? I could have had like money in my pocket, and that was just 4 points more that I could have received on my score. So those things are important to understand for sure.
Absolutely. And I totally agree with you. My daughter took the ACT 4 times. The first 3 times she got the same exact score. And I begged her to try it one more time. And she took it one more time and she got 1 point higher, which gave her a half scholarship to Jackson State. Just that 1 point.
Yes.
So that 1 point makes a difference. And so, yes, I totally agree with that. I'm so thankful for organizations like yours, Claude, that do the work to support the students, to get the FAFSA, to get the scholarship fairs, to get into college. Of course, Giving Hope and Help partners with your organization. And it's just a great fit. It's a great fit because we want to give the scholarships to students that have already proven with their grades, but you come in and say, here, we're going to help you get the scholarship also to college, just like Giving Hope and Help. And so the more information that our students get, the more successful they can become. And
Definitely.
So let's back up and talk about how you got here. And then I want to get into the free college scholarship fair that's coming up this month.
Yeah, definitely. And it's funny because the enemy is like really trying to block me on my phone. So like what I'm getting ready to say must be going to be a blessing to somebody. So we'll just pray that my computer does what it's supposed to do. So I really want to kind of capture the journey of being an entrepreneur, because like I always knew when I was like 15 or 16 years of age that I would be an entrepreneur one day. And I didn't understand like what that was going to be in. But sometimes life can actually happen to you and you wonder, like me and my mom were struggling trying to figure out how to pay for college. And at the time, it wasn't easy going through the process. But now, thank God that I went through the process, because with me not having that problem, I wouldn't have understood my purpose. And so somebody right now is listening to your show and they're thinking, okay, like why is these bad situations happening to me? Is maybe God's way of qualifying you to move into the next dimension of what he wants you to do. And a lot of times bad things happen to people because God knows you're strong enough to figure out the solution. And when you figure out the solution, then you can now go out and serve and be a solution to other people that have the same problem that you're going through right now.
I love it. Your purpose is directly connected with your pain.
Yes.
And, oftentimes we try to figure out how we're going to get through this struggle, and it's already figured out. All we need to do is be diligent and obedient.
Yes.
And you and I both know We've seen the students that don't have the parental support. We've supported the students that don't have the parental support. We've supported the students that are homeless and been through all different types of things. But where there is a will, there is a way. And because of the determination, the parental support that you had with your mom, I think it clearly boosted your support that you're going to do this. And now this is so paramount. If you had not gone through that,
Yes.
you probably wouldn't be the president and CEO of College Coaching Network because of your own story.
Yes. And the crazy thing, going back real quick, and I just want to point this out too, because like there's parents out there that may be wanting to start a business, or they have children that are getting ready to go to college. Like, your life is teaching your kids lessons that will go far beyond anything they'll ever learn in the university, right? So I never will forget, there was one time when I was like maybe 8 or 9 years old. We were at home. We had like literally no food in the refrigerator. And so I remember all we had in there was baking soda. My mom, she put the plates at the table, and she put a knife and fork and everything. She dressed the whole table, and she got to sitting in the chair. She made me come to eat dinner. We had no food. And she sat there and she just kept rocking back and forth, humming and singing church hymns. And as I sat there, I didn't understand like what she was doing. I just knew I was hungry, but I just sat there and I just took in what she was doing. But what she was depositing inside of me was faith.
Yes. Woo, that gives me chills.
Faith that she was depositing inside of me is something that never has left me. And so when I got ready to launch out and start College Coaching Network, and the resources that I needed, I did not have, I still had my mama's humming and singing on the inside. And I will never forget that somebody came after we sat at that table for like 5 or 10 minutes, and they knocked on the door. And she said that that God woke her up and told her to go to the grocery store and get some groceries and bring them to our house. It was a family person I was connected to as a friend, and we were able to eat. And that was a demonstration that God cares about every single thing you're going through. And regardless to what it looked like, if you hold on to your faith, he comes through. Not when you want him to, but he always comes through.
Wow. Oh man, that's a story. I hadn't heard that story. Wow. Basically,
Yeah.
She taught you that faith without works is dead. We're gonna go ahead and walk in this thing like we about to eat, and God is going to deliver us. That's awesome. That is awesome, awesome, awesome. So if you are tuned in now or later, whatever it is that you need,
Yes.
act like you already got it.
Yes.
She set the table. She set the table. I was thinking you were going to say she stirred up some baking soda with some water and put it in a bowl. Y'all, listen, because I've heard another story where the mother, all she had was ketchup packages. And she dumped the ketchup packages in a little pot and mixed some water in, and they had tomato soup.
Yes.
But God delivered. He delivered you all, and you all ate well. That is such a powerful, powerful story. Powerful story. And so whenever it don't look right, that goes back to you. That comes back to you.
So
it doesn't
that,
look good.
No, exactly. So now you fast forward, and now I'm looking at how I'm going to pay for college, and I'm telling my mom, don't worry about it. Somehow, a way, I'm gonna figure it out. So everything's been like built on that every time. So like when I got ready to start College Coaching Network, I got a quote. Well, first of all, I'll say it this way. I was working with you and the people in 2015, and I was basically using College Coaching Network to get in front of families for wealth management. So I continued to do that. I got my wealth management licenses, and then I ended up getting recruited. So I became the vice president at Commerce Bank. So I was over 6 banks all over the campus. They put me over $30 million of business, right? So now I got this big book of business at Commerce Bank. I'm wearing suits every day and all that. And then I get to a point where I'm thinking, how do I take this nerdy intellectual knowledge and put it into technology? So a friend of mine told me about this class where you can go out and learn how to start an ed tech company. So I go out there, I start this class. And have you ever heard of the Shark Tank?
Yes.
So in Kansas City, we have a wannabe Shark Tank that's done through the Kauffman Foundation and Digital Sandbox in UMKC. And so I pitched, and it was 16 entrepreneurs. I would beat everybody out and won $25,000. So I take this grant, I developed the app. The first version of the app I thought was awesome at the time. Looking back, it was horrible. But
now, now we're losing you.
It was the beginning of the app. And so we basically took that and then we start. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Can you hear?
Go ahead and talk again.
Can you hear me better?
Keep talking.
Can you hear me better? I apologize.
Yes.
Yep. All right. So, okay, good. You can still hear me? Okay, that'll work. That'll work. I apologize. So basically, once we got the first version of the app completed, we pushed it out and we started partnering with all these big organizations. And then they told me in order to do the second version of the app, it was going to cost me $106,000. I didn't have $106,000, right? So I just kept that faith, kept believing, and we ended up starting to raise money for the company, and I got the app completed for less than $30,000. But the commonality with it all is, like, whenever you are faced with an obstacle that's in front of you that looks like something that you can't beat, it looks like it's too big, go back to faith and pray and don't give up on the dream. Like, don't let anything, when I say that, I'm serious, don't let anything stop you from moving forward, because every obstacle has a way to get around it if you're willing to go through whatever is necessary to make that happen. I'll back up.
So you went from 106,000 to 30,000 to get this app going, and the app is alive and available. Am I correct?
Yes, it is.
So to download the app, they need to go to College Coaching Network and download the app.
Yeah, they can go to the App Store. But you can go to College Coaching Network, and then you'll be able to see how you can gain more information about the app before you download it. And we can talk more about it, but and then we actually, like, as we grew, I didn't know that I could actually start selling stock in the company. So the first time I did it was in 2019. So I learned about corporations, which I would love to, if you have questions for that, I love to talk about different ways that people can establish businesses, because I didn't understand the difference between a sole proprietor, a S corporation, a C corporation, or an LLC. There's different ways that you do business under these umbrellas. And so being a banking guy led me there so I could understand business structure. And from business structure, I was able to establish my business to sell equity and stock in my company, like Uber. And so we raised the money from selling stock to pay for this $30,000 app. Right? Go for it. I can hear your brain clicking.
Wow. Well, first of all, let's tell them what the app is.
Yeah, definitely.
So tell them what the app is. The College Coaching Network app is an app that the Giving Hope and Help Scholarship recipients receive free for the first year. That's our partnership with College Coaching Network, and we're forever grateful for it. And I explain it that it's a way for the students to continue to apply for scholarships and be provided with resources throughout their college career.
Yes.
But it's a 24/7 technology, and I'll let you expound on it, Claude.
Yeah, definitely. So the vision behind the app was, how do we provide 24/7 school counseling, college and career readiness counseling to students through a mobile device? Why through a mobile device? Because these kids carry their cell phones everywhere. They take them to the bathroom, they take them everywhere, right? And so we want to make sure that they had availability and access. So I don't know if you know this, but the average amount of time that the school counselor will spend with the student over their entire 4 years in high school is 38 minutes. That's it. That's the total amount of time they'll spend with their student. That's like college readiness, you know, whatever, bullying, whatever is going on up there, right? And so because they're not getting enough time, it's predicated, and we have schools that we sponsor, so I'm not saying this to knock them, but it's a bigger issue. The National School Counselor Association said that the average, the student to counselor ratio is 475 to 1, right? The recommended was 250 to 1, but it's 475 to 1. So because there's so many students, the school counselors don't have enough time. I actually talked to over 300 plus high schools within the last 12 to 16 months. One school had 2,800 students and one school counselor. Right?
Possible to do what they need to do for each student.
No way at all, right? So the reason why we create the app is when they leave the school, how do we give them consistent access to scholarships? So what do you get in that? We have $18 billion in scholarships through our partnership with Sallie Mae. So when they go out there, they can find $18 billion worth of scholarships that they can search through. They also have access every Thursday to essay coaches. So we have coaches that come on Zoom. When they write their essays, if they're not grammatically correct, they will help them edit those essays to submit those applications out as part of our program. In addition to that, we have partnerships with J.E. Dunn. So J.E. Dunn just actually became a sponsor with College Coaching Network. And then the yes, it took a while. And the AFL-CIO Labor Union, they are partner of ours. So if the students don't want to go to college, but they want to go to a trade, we can help them get into a trade, and they can actually now be in a position to take care of their families. So it's opportunities with those. There's virtual reality college tours. So as you can see here with these VR glasses that I have, the students can put their cell phone inside the VR glasses, and they can actually go to a Harvard, a Stanford, or what have you, right from our app, right? So they don't have to get in the car, get on a plane, they can do a virtual tour. And so when we do these partnerships with the different colleges, they can chat with the students through the app. So all they have to do is shake their phone, and the other person shakes their phone. It's called a virtual handshake, and they can start chatting with the admission advisor right through the app. And so it's giving them access to, go ahead, go for it.
How do they get the vision glasses?
So this pair right here, actually I have another set over there. They were, I think $1 at Walmart, but if you go on Amazon, you can get these for like maybe $5 or $6. And what you do is you just put your phone inside of it. And then when you do, you put the glasses on, and you can kind of do the tour of the college campus right through the app.
Oh my God. $1?
Yeah, they're pretty doggone cheap. Yeah, I got like 15 of them for like $1 a piece. They were discontinuing them, so I just grabbed them. But you can get them on Amazon. Or you can get the paper ones too if you don't want to be all sophisticated like this, and just get the paper ones and still put or you can just deal without the glasses if you just want to see the virtual tour. So
this information is paramount, especially for parents who, don't have the money to physically go on college tours or the time. I mean, to physically take your kid on to 5 or 6 colleges, that takes a lot of time. So you're saying you can do this with all colleges?
We have about 600 on our platform. We partner now with a company called Infinite Scholars. And so they do, I think, 24 venues throughout the United States. So College Coaching Network is a lead sponsor where our name is on the bag of every different fair that they do. If you go to infinitescholars.com, you can see the different venues, or go to our website, you can see it that way too. But basically have access, we'll have all those colleges from those venues coming onto our app. And we don't charge the colleges at all to come onto our app because we want them to give our babies scholarships. So we want to make sure there's more more opportunity available.
With the virtual tours, do you have any HBCUs on that list as well?
Yes, we do. We actually have about 7 HBCUs that are coming to the college fair that's going down in September, the 21st of this month. And so we're talking to them about getting on our app. And so we'll build their booth out, and then they can start talking with students too. So we definitely want to get them. And I would like to talk to our girl with the HBCU walking billboard, shout out to her. She is phenomenal. And Shay, I think that we could see how we can get her to maybe have a booth, because there is some information that she's sharing that these students need to know about the HBCU culture.
Absolutely. Well, Chanel is a friend of mine and Giving Hope and Help. And so if you don't, if you need a connection, we'll make sure that you get connected with Chanel, the
Yeah,
founder of
Chanel
HBCU Walking Billboard.
Chanel is phenomenal. I just emailed her like yesterday, actually. So she's good people.
Yes, yes, yes. So hopefully she can be there. I am, as you know, a HBCU advocate and would love to see more HBCUs involved, especially my alma mater. And so we're going to have to talk offline to try to see what we can do to get Southern University, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, the #1 HBCU involved. Amen. HBCU love the all of for sure. Though. Yes, so this is amazing. So this virtual thing has me just tripping out right now. I mean, literally, you don't even have to go to the campus. Wow.
Yeah, super great. Chanel and Amber, I love it when they get together because Amber went to Howard. So it's cool. Yeah, it's cool. She says the same thing about Howard, so it's cool here.
Of course, and Chanel went to Fisk, and so you know, Chanel and some other Kansas City HBCU Kansas Cityans used to do the HBCU send off every year, and HBCU Walking Billboard is doing it, and so we always support. It's a phenomenal program. She was on the show in January of this year, and so we'll have to bring Chanel back before year end. But it's amazing what we can accomplish when we take our very own problems and pain that we have went through and turn it into something great to help others. And I believe that's exactly what you had. I mean, that's what you've done here. You've taken your personal pain and turned it into purpose. Wow. Thank you for doing this, Claude. I mean, this is amazing. And the free college scholarship fair, I understand last year a young man walked away with $1 million in scholarships.
Yeah, through the Partnership Infinite Scholars, he came in the room. We have our last boot camp that's happening this Wednesday from 6 o'clock until 7 with Dr. Dorothy. She does a phenomenal job teaching you how to dress, how to conduct yourself when you talk, how to shake someone's hand and look them in the eye, the regular, soft skills that people don't always get that they need. But she's helping them with those things, resumes, transcripts, recommendation letters, things of that sort. So when you walk in the building, you're ready to take advantage of the opportunities. But this young African-American male walked in the room, 17 years of age, and walked out. He had so many scholarship offers. They all totaled up to $1 million in scholarships. They're going to waive the application fees when they come to the fair, which is phenomenal because it's typically $25 to $75 for application fees. And then they're ready to give scholarships out on the spot. So that's why we don't call it a college fair. It's called a scholarship college fair because it's giving out scholarships. I mean, we want to make sure that we highlight those students that get advantage. It's free to the public. So we want you guys to come out. We're expecting anywhere between 300 to 500 students to come. So if you come, we can maybe push that up. The bigger our venue is, St. Louis has always been bigger than Kansas City. And so I think Kansas City needs to represent, and we need to put ourselves on the map, and we need to let St. Louis know that they can't stand up against what our students want to do here in Kansas City as far as their future is concerned. So definitely, I do, before we go deeper into that though, I wanted to see if I could talk just more on the business side of things, because I think there's a lot of things that entrepreneurs really don't know. When it comes to business, and I've learned some things the hard way. And if I can help somebody else not make the same mistakes that I made, I would love to do that.
Absolutely.
So I want to give a disclosure real quick that I'm not giving you information as if I'm a CPA or a financial advisor or any of those things. So go get legal counsel before I tell you any of this information I'm getting ready to share with you. I mean, put that out first. All right. So first thing, let's talk about the taxes. So when we had everything came down the pipeline, there was a tax law change, and it allowed us to get a higher standard deduction. I don't know if you remember this or not, right? So everybody's standard deductions got increased, okay? So a lot of the people that are in the clergy or the church world were upset about this because the standard deduction increasing now put a person, when you do your charitable contributions, you really didn't see a big benefit on your tax return. That makes sense?
Right. Mm-hmm.
So they made this change for us on the individual side temporarily that we get a bigger deduction, but for the business owners, that change was permanent, right? So like I didn't do good on that ACT test, I didn't understand that there's a way to play the game. So if you see that one side of this is getting permanent benefits and the other side are getting temporary benefits, basically the individual side was giving you hush money. They were giving you just a little bit just to hush your mouth, but the real people that had big businesses were getting a bigger long-term benefit. So that doesn't mean we get upset. That means that we got to learn how to play within the rules of the game. All right. So the next thing I want to talk about is how corporations are structured. So if you have an LLC or a sole proprietor, the money that you make inside that business, it rolls over to your personal tax return, losses or what have you, right? So what we've seen people do is if you want to make your contribution to the church through your business, you can write that off from your business. And now that may cause you to have a loss in your business. And that loss can roll over to your personal tax return to give you a bigger deduction. Or if you made that same contribution from your individual side, you may not get the benefit because of the standard deduction increase. Probably going way too deep, but I want to make sure people understand that there's some rules and regulations that you can take advantage of on that side. Now, the other one is a lot of African Americans do not understand C corporations. And so when we start doing C corporations, we think, oh, that's big business, and I don't know how to do that. Don't be afraid to look at a C corporation, because if you make $1 million in your business, you can pay a flat tax of 21%, right? So that's basically $210,000 that you can pay in taxes. If you have an individual that makes $1 million, do you know you're probably going to pay about 40 or 50% of that in taxes? Or higher, or higher, right? So the way your business is structured could actually cause you to put more profit in your pocket, allow you to be more charitable to Giving Hope and Help, more charitable to your local church, your local community. You could be a bigger blessing to the homeless that are out on the street, because you're not giving it all to Uncle Sam, but you're putting yourself in a better position to do something for the community, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. That's good. That's good information.
Cool. The other thing I want to throw out real quick is this. When you have a business, we have to, especially in the Midwest, we have to graduate from the mindset that we're trying to do a little small side hustle. And I really want to say that and mean that, because initially when I started College Coaching Network, I had a side hustle mentality. And I'm telling you from the bottom of my heart that God is not giving you side hustle visions. God is not giving you side hustle dreams. God is giving you things that are so big that not only will you benefit, but people that come with you will they will benefit from what he's dropping into your heart. So you cannot take a God idea and bring that together with the hustle mentality, because you're going to look at cutting corners on everything. You're not going to honor what he's giving you, and you're not going to make an investment to take it to the next level. So I'll stop and see if you got questions for me.
I have no questions, but I love the God did not give you a side hustle dream. A lot of people start baking pies and they are working 40, 50 hours a week to try to make it when everybody loves their pies. I don't know if you heard about or saw that Lifetime movie, which was a true story. The woman was about to be evicted. She was a single mom, and everybody loved her pies. Everybody loved her pies. She baked her way out of poverty. She baked her way out of poverty because that was her gift. We don't realize that not only does our pain have a purpose, but our gifts have a purpose to create wealth. And that nerdy little boy in high school that you were was a gift to create wealth. Absolutely. And so whether you're tuned in now or later, there's something that you're gifted with. Everybody has something. It may be painting baseboards, painting houses. I can't paint a house. You know, people pay big money, power washing a house, washing cars, owning a car lot, a car wash, whatever it may be. Never despise small beginnings. And I love that your hustle can be your business. You know, your hustle can be your business. And oftentimes we don't know the ins and outs of the information that you just shared about the C Corp and the way to set up your business and to structure your business and how to donate church contributions from your business so that it can be a loss from your personal taxes. Did I get that right? I got it right. Well, I really don't have any questions, but you can continue with giving the information because this is good stuff.
So when you look at like setting up businesses, again, in the Midwest, like we have so many people that are always trying to get us to try some new shiny object, right? Get into some financial services business or sell cryptocurrency and get all these people under you and all those things. And whatever it's for you, you do it, whatever God got for you to do. But the thing about it in business is business is always like, if you have a problem and you become the solution, then money can exchange hands. It never will exchange hands unless there's a problem and a solution, right? And so I have a lot of people that I talk to that are buying crypto. Like, I get it. I mean, it's hot right now, but I'm talking to so many people and they like, I don't understand how crypto is making money. And I'm not trying to come here and broad bash crypto, but when you look at it, it's like, okay, what's the value or what problem does crypto solve? And so in business, I'm always looking at, if I'm going to invest in something, is that business or is that product or is that a solution to somebody else's problem? That's the first thing that I look at, right? And so for you, if you have a hustle that you're doing and it's actually a solution to the problem, I would lock in and figure out how you can solve more people's problem with your solution. And so many times, see, definitely in the Midwest, is where a lot of people are jumping from one thing to the next, right? It's like taking a fish and putting him in another bowl, or putting a plant and putting it into, you know, you never let the roots get the nutrients that it needs. And success does not happen from the top down, it happens from the bottom up. It's the foundation, right? It's the nutrients and the foundation that allows the business to get to that next level. I mean, I've been in college coaching network for over a decade, right? And people will now, within the next 2 to 3 years, see like massive success. But nobody saw the time that I didn't have enough money to pay to have my trash taken. They didn't see when I drove to the gas station on fumes, and I sat there at the gas station at the pump, and I didn't know how I was going to pay for gas because I had no. And then my phone sent a notification up, and I went to my PayPal account, and somebody that owed me money sent me money right at the time that I was at the gas pump, right? And I have like story after story after story after story like that, right? So I'm saying to you, like,
back at the table. You just took me back to the table with your mom.
Right back there, right? But I'm telling you, like, the journey of building your legacy and building your business, you have to be so committed. You can't let somebody talk you out your dream. You can't let somebody come and they don't believe in what you got going on, and you like, okay, I'm just gonna stop doing this because I'm gonna go an easier path. There is no easier path. There's a public announcement. There is no easier path. The easiest path is when you know that God is with you, and regardless to what it looks like, as long as you and him are in the same car together, you're gonna be okay. That's the easiest path. The hardest path is to try to do this thing on your own, and God told you to be over here, and you chose to go over there.
You continue to preach, sir.
That is the hardest path, right? You have to make sure that you're in line with what he's trying to do for you. So, like, I'm just trying to make sure tonight that I just deposit faith, walk by faith. But then you also have to do the work, right? You have to do the work. You got to be willing to read the books. You got to be willing to deal with the failure. I mean, the payroll for these and I didn't get a check. You know, and then it's a weekend and you're wondering.
Choppy. Say that again.
I've given out payroll to employees, but I didn't get a check. Right? But it's all part of the journey. So that's why you see a lot of times when you see people get to millions and they're self-made, like them and God made that happen, you see a humility on that person. They know that there were so many times that thing could have just blew up. But somehow God's grace allowed this break to happen and that break to happen, and all those things work together for the good of those, right? And so I just want to make sure that right now, I don't care what your situation looks like. I don't care, and my technology is trying to get hampered. And whenever God's trying to work through somebody, you already know the enemy's constantly sending his imps. But he ain't gonna get no victory today. But whatever you're going through, God has got your back. You don't need everybody to like your Facebook post about your dream. If don't nobody like your post but you keep moving forward. If don't nobody around you understand why you keep doing what you're doing because they don't see any fruit, don't worry about it. There will be a day that everybody will come flocking and everybody's going to want to clap and celebrate you. I knew you was going to be successful. I already knew. No, you didn't. Because when I was down and out and I didn't know how things was going to work out, I looked around and there was no crowd. There was no crowd. It was me and the Lord and my activity and my faith. Right? So, but I do want to talk about kind of the future that excites me. What excites me about the future is this. There was a moment that I had to, in my business, embrace that the vision that God had was bigger than my vision. And the vision that God had was so big that it scared me. And check it out. The reason why it scared me is because I didn't feel worthy to be able to receive it. And the reason why I didn't feel worthy to receive it is because I knew the hiccups and the bad things that I've done in my life in private that don't nobody know about. Everybody's got something, but I know my flaws. And so I felt that my flaws discounted me from what God promised me. And I just want to speak to somebody right now that your flaws will never discount why you were created. Whatever you've been through is part of preparing you to handle the manifestation that he promised you.
I would go a step further and I would say your sins.
Go for it.
Your sins will never get discount to you what God has promised you unless you haven't asked for forgiveness.
There you go.
So once we ask God for forgiveness, he drops it into the sea of forgetfulness. But we hold on to it because we have a feeling that was just so wrong. There's no way I deserve this, that, and the other. When God has forgotten all about that, he's trying to give something to you, but you're self-sabotaging, stuck on what you don't deserve because what you've already asked for, he's forgiven you for it, but you haven't forgiven yourself for it.
Now,
and so we block our own blessings, right?
Yes. So, I want to go, like, when I talked about when you take that ACT test, sometimes you're not taught the proper way of how to know how the questions are coming to you. So I want y'all to catch this. The enemy is studying everybody. He's studying how you handle pressure. He's studying how you handle being frustrated. He's studying everything that he can do that can get you off kilter. He's looking at all your behavioral patterns to see how he can try to come at you to get you off track, right? So what happens is this. Normally, right before a big blessing comes, here comes all of the HE double hockey sticks, right? All that stuff comes. So as a believer, that should be a commercial to you that something big is on the horizon. So instead of being frustrated at the enemy, get excited because he is giving you a commercial of what's to come. You don't know how it's coming. You don't know what it looks like, but be excited because I promise you, over my life, I have seen that normally when something big is about to break, here comes the enemy, right? To try to get you off track. And he's doing that because this is the thing that a lot of ministers miss, and they do a good job. I'm just saying, this is that little bitty thing there that I think that all that sense. All right, the enemy cannot stop what God's going to do. But
say that again because you broke up.
Okay, the enemy cannot stop what God is going to do in your life. Okay, but what he can do is make you feel unworthy to receive what God wants to bring your way. Now, this is what happens. God never just shows up like old school people understand what I'm going to say, like Ed McMahon, and has this big old $1 million check at your door. God always sends blessings to you in the form of an opportunity. And when he brings it to you in the form of an opportunity, it's our responsibility to, one, be in tune with him spiritually enough to know that that's him bringing that opportunity, and two, be able to receive that opportunity and work that opportunity until it turns into a harvest. What happens is this: people have an opportunity that comes and the enemy has already hit you, and now you feel unworthy to receive the opportunity, so the opportunity passes you what? Passes you by. And that's what happens. And so therefore, was it an 11-day trip? How many days was the trip supposed to be? The walking around, the Israelites walking around, was that 11-day trip? But it turns into
40 days is what it ended up, 40 years.
Okay. To 40 years, right? And that's because opportunities keep passing you by. Opportunities keep passing you by. You get another birthday, went by, another birthday. I'm gonna write that book. I'm gonna start that business. I'm gonna go back to school. Opportunities keep passing you by, and you don't step up when the opportunities come. My wife, I do want to real quick give a shout out to my wife, Roxanne Harris. So my wife, for a while, was teaching like children's church, and God started speaking to her about going back to school to become a teacher. And the opportunities for her to go ahead and go back to school came and came and came. And then one day something happened in her spirit, and she said, you know what? I don't care if I got to go in debt or whatever. I'm going back to school. And she put her foot down. She said, I'm going back. And at that time, she went, got her degree. She's been a teacher for, I think, going on 7 years this year, second grade students. But they closed the program that she was in right after she graduated.
If she had waited.
Thank you.
Wow.
That's my point. So I'm telling you, like get yourself ready, because God is in the season of wanting to release opportunities in the lives of believers. This pandemic is a setup. People are going through, but God Jesus is due to return. And this pandemic, there's a lot of people that are going to glory, but God has unfinished business for those that are here.
Unfinished business. Amen. Don't let procrastination steal your business.
At all. Unfinished.
Go ahead.
No, you good. Go ahead.
I was just saying, don't let procrastination, because when you were saying the opportunity came, another birthday, the book hasn't done, the book's not done, transparent moment. I wanted my book to be done 2 years ago. It's still not done. I'm doing a lot of things in between time, but I haven't met my own standard of finishing it. So I'm making a commitment tonight to get that finished this year.
Yes.
This year. That book needs to be finished this year. And I was thinking in my mind, how am I going to finish that with all of the other things that I'm doing? The same way that I'm doing the other things, a made up mind.
A made up mind.
A made up mind. A made up mind, a made up mind. I'm so excited to have you on this show today. This was really, 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 really good. And I want to do I almost want to go live after the show on my own page and say, you all, if you didn't tune in, you missed some good meat, because this is really good. This is really good. And I am honored, I want to say, to have you, Claude, on our advisory council. I'm honored to have you on our advisory council for the nonprofit Giving Hope and Help. And we're going to be doing some more things where you're going to be able to use that voice and use that that good word that you shared with the organization. But I know the time is wrapping up. It goes by so fast.
Yes.
I do want to talk about the free college scholarship fair.
Yes.
It is September the 21st. It is at the Hy-Vee Arena at 1800 Genesee Street, Suite 244, Kansas City, Missouri, 64102. September 21st, 2021, from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. You can go to collegecoachingnetwork.com and register. Am I correct, Claude?
Yes.
Go to collegecoachingnetwork.com and register. We need you there if you are in what age group?
I would say freshman in high school all the way through a senior.
What I was thinking.
I would, but my technology has been like hampered over here with Wi-Fi. Yeah, the weekend Wi-Fi is on one. So I can actually, if you want to put it out there.
What I will do is, Claude, can you send me this document
digitally,
electronically, and I will post it on our advertisement today, and KUAW will post it, and I will post it on some more community pages in Kansas City, the Greater Kansas City Schools page. We need to get this out to the educators, to the superintendents. Our students age from 9th grade to 12th grade need to be at this college fair.
Yes.
Parents, aunties, uncles, cousins, we need to get your little ones at this fair. They can walk away with scholarships. They'll be giving, the schools will be giving scholarships on the spot. Make sure they bring their what? Transcript. What else do they need to bring, Claude?
Resumes, recommendation letters. If they don't know how to do a resume, reach out to us. We have some sample ones. And then if they have anything as far as like the brag sheet, organizations that they may work with or what have you, just those kind of things to make sure, dress to impress. Don't come in there with your pants sagging and everybody looking at your briefs, but make sure that you come in there ready to look impressive.
This is amazing work. I thank you so much, Claude, for coming on. I'm just excited. And what I think I want to do is go live, come down and talk to you and go live at your station. We got to get more people here. We've got to get more people here, and I'm committed to helping you do that. So Claude, don't hang up. We're going to end the show, but stay on, and we're going to set a day where I can come down to your office and we can go live and we can talk about this free college scholarship fair. It is September the 21st, and we are going to have the students in the building, and they're going to walk away with full rides and with partial rides and athletic scholarship, whatever it is that the schools are offering. This is now is the time. So thank you so much for coming on, Claude. You've been tuned in Kansas City to Kansas City's global community radio station, KUAW Radio. Jessica Lynn Speaks Life. We're here on the first and third Sunday of the month from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. We always have phenomenal guests that are making a difference and an impact in the community and across the globe. Thank you so much. Be blessed.